Welcome to this great lesson, developing a fundraising strategy before meeting with investors. This is second lesson on the course, Fundraising Fundamentals. At the end of this lesson, you will know, 1. What does it mean to have a fundraising strategy? 2. Why is a fundraising strategy important for my business? 3. How should I develop my fundraising strategy and prepare for investment? Let's begin. Imagine Umar loses his umbrella so often that it gives him a business idea, a subscription service that sends customers a new umbrella every 3 months. Umar knows he's not the only person who loses and needs to replace his umbrella alarmingly often, so he knows there's a decent market for his service. He's even assembled a team and built out an early stage of the service to prove it works. But as good as Umar's idea is, and as scrappy and motivated as his team is, they need money to take their business to the next level and become a success. What does Umar need to think about before he starts asking around for money? Let's help Umar out. Does Umar need to think about this? 1. Who he's asking for money. 2. Whose advice might be useful. 3. How much money he needs to raise. 3. Risks associated with his business. I think, before he starts meeting with investors, Umar should think about who he's asking for money and advice, plus how much money his business needs and what risks might be a cause of concern for investors. By taking these, and more into consideration, Umar can create a fundraising strategy that will set his business up for success. Investors want to know you have a plan for what you'll do with their money. So, before you ask for money, know what you'll do with any funds you receive. Consider creating a spreadsheet for yourself with a place to record everywhere you will be spending money, such as hiring employees, marketing, and research and development of products. Umar, for example, wants to hire marketers and start running digital ads, so he will enter those into his spreadsheet. When preparing your fundraising strategies, make sure you know your business' strongest selling points. What do you have that most companies don't? Your core piece of value might be the number of users you have, their engagement rates, the number of views you have if you're trying to sell ads, how much revenue you generate, or how much it costs you to gain customers. Say, Umar has partnered with a weather service and plans to target ads to users in areas where it is currently raining. That is unique and can be a strong selling point toward his service. Next, know the risks involved in your company and industry as a whole. Think like an investor. If they are going to put their money into your business, it's likely that they will have concerns about the risks you are taking. Be ready to address their concerns. There are several different kinds of risks to think about. Team risk: is your team made up of the right people to be doing this? Market risk: are there enough people in the world who want to buy your product? Execution risk: can your team actually build the product they want to build? Distribution risk: can you successfully get your product to the customers who want to buy it? One good way to reduce risk in the eyes of investors is to be not just an idea but an actual product with users or paying customers. If Umar's subscription service already has 100 paying customers, his investors might feel better about the execution risk, since his team is able to build the product, and market risk, since enough people are interested in it. If you don't have the funds to launch your product, you might turn to friends and family to raise just enough to launch a very minimal, basic version of your product and gain the kind of initial numbers an investor wants to see. As you plan your fundraising strategy, make sure you know how much of your company you can give up to investors. When you raise your first round of investment, you typically sell 20 to 40% of your company to the set of investors in that round of fundraising, meaning that your owner's share is diluted down to about 80%. If, like some companies, you then raise more investment money later on down the line, also known as another round of investment, you'll sell about 30% of your company each subsequent round. Make sure that, after all that, there's still enough for you. If there are several founders, Think about how the ownership percentages are split and make sure there's enough to go around. Listen up. Think about who you are going to ask for money. After you've asked friends and family, you might turn to angel investors, seed investors, and venture capitalists, VC for short. It's common to start with small amounts before you start asking for large amounts of money. You'll want to go to angel investors. Angel investors are typically wealthy individuals who invest in startups to support the community and to make money along the way. While the size of angels' investments can vary, they typically invest around $25,000. To find angels, you can ask others for recommendations or search on Google for local angel groups in your town. Many angel investors host open events that allow you to demo your product and meet with potential investors. Let's say Umar has tapped out his angel investor network and still needs to raise more money. He can start reaching out to seed investors. Seed investors are early investors that can help you get your business started. Luckily, some investors typically invest alongside each other, so your angels and seed investors may be able to provide introductions. Start by creating a spreadsheet and entering the name of every possible investor you can think of. For each investor, research how they are connected to each other and how you can reach that investor through your network. You can find names of investors by searching Crunchbase's online resource and looking at funding announcements. If you know any entrepreneurs in your network, call and ask for an informal meeting to ask them for advice. At this stage, you should expect to pitch 25 to 50 investors before getting 10 to say yes. Don't be discouraged, it depends on a lot of factors, and a lot of luck too. Tip: as you meet with more investors and update your pitch, ask your angels and others to listen and provide guidance. Like their feedback with a grain of salt. Pick and choose what advice makes sense for you and will help your company build out an investor pipeline. Say Umar has successfully raised $1 million in a round from friends, angels, and seed investors. He's feeling great, but he's trying to raise more than that. If you need to raise an amount like 3 million or 10 million to start your company properly, you will need to pitch venture capitalists, or VCs. VCs manage larger pools of money and can typically write larger checks. When searching for VCs, again, you should create a spreadsheet and ask for more introductions. Angels and seed investors are typically incentivized to get their deals funded by VCs, so take advantage of the connections you have. Try to pitch 40 to 100 VCs. You will get told no a lot, but keep your head up. To find solace in the fact that you're learning persistence and perseverance, traits that will be helpful down the line as you run your company. When reaching out to investors, think beyond just money. Think about social proof. Social proof means getting people in your industry with good standing to invest in your business or be involved with it, for example as an advisor. Their seal of approval gives other investors more faith in your vision. Having an advisor with a notable name in your corner when you're starting off can be the vote of confidence you need to get that first investor, and an advisor can also help you navigate terms of investment. Asking for expertise and advice can mean more to investors than asking for money. Plus, selling them on your dream shows you know what you're doing. From selling customers products to selling investors stock, selling is a CEO's #1 skill. Do this now that you know the importance of having a strategy in mind for fundraising. Let's see what the next step is in your fundraising journey. Here is a quick yes or no questions to help you get started. 1. Do you have a working version of your product or service? 2. Have you considered the risks involved with your company? 3. Do you have a network of investors or entrepreneurs you can ask for advice and introductions? 4. How much investment do you need to raise? Results. Before you make a list of investors you'd like to meet, focus on thinking like one of them. Make sure you have a working version of your product or service that you can collect numbers and insights from, and think about any risks that might be a concern for investors. You might be ready to start meeting with VCs. Get ready to pitch to 40 to 100 VCs, and don't be discouraged when the answer is no. Remember, it's good training for running a business. Sounds good? Get access to the complete course on fundraising fundamentals and many others by visiting our website at standoutcoachingacademy.com.